Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Longbox Chronicles month here on Reaction and Review. Yes, guys, this is our annual month-long look at movies based on comic book properties. Man, I am psyched for this month. And we're kicking off the month with a movie from 1972. That movie is Tales from the Crypt. Now, the first time I heard about this movie, it was because I was a regular viewer of the Tales from the Crypt show made by HBO in the 1990s. And I was trying to find an episode list once, and I found out that they made a Tales from the Crypt movie in the 1970s, which, similar to HBO's series, was taking stories from EC Comics' various horror titles, such as the Vault of Horror and crime suspense stories, and as the title notes, Tales from the Crypt. I never bothered to look up exactly what stories are told in this. I do know that it does tell like 4 or 5, but once more, I don't have a clue as to which stories are going to be adapted here. I definitely have high hopes because I have read a lot of old EC Comics horror books, and oh my god, those stories are amazing. Well, you can also tell just by watching the Tales from the Crypt show from fucking HBO. Those stories were amazing. So I'm certainly hoping that we can get something awesome here, but the only way I'm going to find out, guys, is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Tales from the Crypt. Wait a minute, wait, hang on. Are you trying to tell me that with just a little bit of scrubbing she was able to get that bright red paint, I mean blood, off the white fur rug in her living room after she killed her husband? What about the giant blood stain on the white leather chair you killed him in? I'm sorry, guys. I totally understand that is a trivial, stupid thing to wonder about, but I'm kind of curious. I did not know that blood was that easy to just, scrub off of, carpet. Especially when it's carpet that's made out of white fur. You'd think blood would stain kind of fast, and it took her a while to scrub it off. I'm sorry, guys. It's trivial, it's stupid, it just kind of bugged me a bit. However, though, I will say that the story itself is really awesome. It's just the whole blood fucking cleanup part is just kind of annoying. Sorry guys if I really haven't been saying much. I have really just been sucked into this movie. Everything, guys, about this movie is just amazing. Our writing is great, however, though, that also is because the source fucking material is amazing. The acting here is awesome, which makes sense because we're dealing with a large-scale, all-star cast. I am just loving every second of this, guys. I'm really sorry I don't have anything to really add, though. You know, guys, what I really love about every single one of these stories is just the karmic backlash that every single one of these douchebags deal with. I absolutely love how all of them in these stories are such horrible human beings, and in traditional classic EC fashion, they literally just get their shit ruined. And I love it. I fucking adore it, man. It seriously is what made all of these various EC comic stories so fucking awesome, is just the karmic backlash every villain got. It's just so awesome, dude. You know, guys, I actually got to read this story once in a collection of EC stories. This ending is a little bit creepier in the movie than it was in the comics. Even though it's the exact same fucking twist, holy shit, that was awesome, dude! Fuck yes! You know what, guys? Out of every single person in this film who's being shown their future, the one who I want to die the most painful death of all is this asshole Rogers. Oh my god, he just rubs me the wrong way so badly. I think maybe it's because of this story he's horrendously misfucking treating a bunch of blind people, and that just seems exceptionally cruel. My God, I swear, guys, I want his fucking death to be graphic and nasty, and I'm gonna revel in every fucking frame of it. I hate this character. His death's gonna be amazing. I can just feel it. Well, guys, that was Tales from the Crypt. Let me shut that off. Oh, dude, that was awesome. Oh, man. Okay, so let's talk about this movie. Why don't we start with the writing? As is the way whenever you're talking about anthology films, you kind of have to talk about everything. You have to talk about not only the stories, because the stories are like the main focus, but also the framing story. And here, the framing story is a bunch of people are on a tour through a series of catacombs, and they take a wrong turn and they walk into the chamber of the Crypt Keeper, who asks all of them to sit down. And then each one gets a story told about them. Now, I am going to spoil the ending here a touch because, I'm going to spoil it, and I'm then going to explain why I can spoil it and not really, feel too bad about it, because the movie telegraphs this damn near 90 minutes ahead of time. So it's found out at the very end. Oh, by the way, if you guys don't want to hear these spoilers, just mute this, and when I go like this, it'll tell you that I'm done with the spoiler. I did that. I did that one other time. I guess I can do it here. So by all means, mute if you don't want to hear these spoilers. So it's found out at the end of the film that every single one of these people who are hearing these stories have died. Now, the problem with this, and the reason why I don't feel so bad about it, and when I say that they telegraph it 90 minutes ahead of time, is because Joan fucking Collins' character picks up this, brooch, and she pins it back onto her shirt. But it's the brooch she got as a Christmas gift in her story. So she wouldn't have had it if it was some kind of a prophetic vision. Because of that, and because the camera focuses on it when she pins it onto her shirt, the camera focuses on it in the story, the camera focuses on it after the story, you basically know that it's them hearing, it's all these people are hearing exactly how they died. I just sort of wanted to share that, and just that one little bit of kind of questionable writing kind of ruined the twist at the very end. Welcome back to everybody who decided to mute. Once more, I feel absolutely foolish, waving technically to nobody except for the camera in front of me. Anyway, so the Crypt Keeper is telling everybody these stories, and in the stories, everybody dies. That honestly is not even a spoiler, because these are all based on stories from EC Comics. That's kind of sort of how EC's horror stories worked. The main character died 99% of the time. Either the main character or whoever the main character was going at. Because the main character was almost always a douchebag who needed some kind of karmic fucking retribution. And I'm going to tell you right now, in all of these, it is done amazingly. There is one story where the main character doesn't really need any kind of karmic, backlash, because it's a story based on the monkey. It's based on the monkey's paw, and it's not him who's making the wishes. It's his wife who's making the wishes, and he suffers because of it. And I'm going to tell you, that story, I actually got to read that one years and years ago in a comic collection, because EC has done constant reprints and collections, and I got my hands on a book, and it had that story. And I really liked the way that they did the ending here. It actually was a little bit better than what was in the comic. So that story is the only one where the person who's hearing the story isn't necessarily dealing with any kind of karmic, backlash, because this guy honestly is just the poor bastard who has to deal with the fucking effects of his wife making wishes on this Chinese idol that functions like a monkey's paw. But with every other character, you are going to want them dead. I mentioned Rogers in the last story. Rogers is a former military man who is now the superintendent for a house for the blind, a hospital for the blind, kind of. It basically is like a nursing home for nothing but blind people. And he is cutting corners everywhere, and they don't have blankets, and their food is shit, and it's winter, it's cold out, so all of them are suffering, while he's buying pricey paintings for his office, and he's eating steak, and he's giving his dog the bones. He basically is treating all of these blind people like shit. I also had another reason to hate him because when we get a close-up of his fucking dog, I noticed that Shane didn't have a collar. Shane had a choke chain. And I hate motherfuckers who put choke chains on dogs. That made me want him to die even more. And the ending is essentially what we would have seen in a Saw film if Saw was made in 1972. It was fucking glorious. I loved the ending of that story, and no, I am not going to spoil it. Oh my god, that was so awesome. In fact, every single one of these stories, guys, was fantastically done. And the ones that I happen to remember reading in various EC collections are incredibly loyal to the source. In fact, one of these was also turned into an episode of HBO's Tales from the Crypt. At least one of them. I know for a fact I have seen the Christmas episode where the lunatic dressed as Santa is trying to break into the house. It was awesome then, it was awesome here, it's awesome in the comics. Guys, the writing in this thing is amazing. Our characters are incredibly well fucking written. The characters who you want to see die, all of them are going to die, and all of them are going to die in absolutely amazing fashions because of the karmic swing that comes with every EC Comics story. It's such an amazing thing. In fact, guys, seeing as on how I'm, talking up EC's writing, if you can ever find any of these collections, and you can find them everywhere. They actually just put out a whole bunch of hardcover collections of things such as The Vault of Horror and Crypt and suspense stories, all these other books. Pick them up and read them, dude. Those books are fucking amazing, and movies like this and shows like Tales from the Crypt are perfect evidence of that. So guys, writing here is fantastic because it's incredibly loyal to the comics, and the comics were fucking awesome by default. So everything here is great. That is made even better by the acting. Guys, when I say that we have amongst our cast people such as Joan Collins and Peter fucking Cushing, you pretty much know we are in for good shit, because those two, as well as every other well-known actor in this film, are amazing. They are masters at their fucking craft, and this movie shows that in spades. Every single cast member turns in a fantastic story. And once more, I have to kind of bang on about the story with Rogers and the nursing home for the fucking blind. I think the reason why Rogers is just such a horrible douchebag is because the actor, and I cannot remember the name of the actor right off the top of my head, he plays him so well that once he actually gets his karmic payback, oh my god, guys, I was fucking cheering it on. I normally do not cheer for movies. I don't normally cheer when something awesome happens in a movie, but oh my god, that was so great. And most of that is because the actor made you hate that character so much that everything that fucking happens to him, you feel is completely justified, amazing, and awesome. I loved what every actor did here. Every single actor made this movie marvelous. Fantastic from top to bottom. Alright, camera work. I have talked about the source here. I've talked about how all these are based on stories from EC Comics. Whole lot of the shots combined with, I'm talking combined with color and lighting, look almost exactly like the old EC comics. That is saying a lot. I am talking everything from angle, color, shading, lighting, everything. It all comes together, and it pretty much makes it feel as if these old comic book stories have been literally brought to life directly from the page. I haven't seen something that great and that cool since Watchmen or Sin City. This thing pulled it off in 1972, and that's fucking amazing. So yes, guys, camera work, lighting, color, everything here is amazing. Our sound mix is flawless. Our score is amazing. And I do have to, and I do have to give mad props to whoever on the crew thought that it was a good idea to make the opening and closing credits song Bach's legendary Toccata and Fugue in D minor. That was such an amazing choice. That is such a fantastic piece of classical music, and it helps set the mood for this movie, and my god, that was great. And everything else here in terms of score was awesome. Guys, I really can't think of anything negative to say about this movie outside of, the twist at the very end. As I stated, I really don't want to go into spoilers for those who didn't want them. But the twist does feel a little bit iffy simply because of one character. Because one character doesn't really gel with everybody else. So that kind of sort of throws it off. And the character who actually finds out the big twist is the one who least fucking deserves the fate that has befallen everybody at the very end. That much there is kind of sort of a problem, but once more, similar honestly to a lot of other problems I find in awesome movies, it's minor, it's trivial, it's stupid, and it's not going to take anything away from the overall final product. So guys, when all is said and done, I'm able to recommend Tales from the Crypt. Fuck yes, I can. I can recommend the movie, and I can also, as I said, I can also recommend the series and also the comics that both the movie and the series are based on. This movie was amazing. Now, Tales from the Crypt came off the Amazon wishlist. The person who sent it in was Kevin. You can find his YouTube channel, I actually have it written down here, at youtube.com/user/khaze666. Kevin, dude, I thank you. I've been curious about this movie for probably about 10 years. I believe I actually first heard about it about a decade ago, and I finally got my chance to watch it thanks to you. And the Blu-ray that you sent in was also a 2-pack, which comes with this movie's sequel, and you can probably guess, yes, I'm definitely going to be covering the sequel a little bit later on this month. My god, I can't wait, because this thing here was fucking awesome, and I'm hoping for the sequel to be just as fucking good. Oh my god, dude. I loved this movie. Once more, guys, it is youtube.com/user/khaze666. My god, man. You know, as much, guys, as I would love to just go find old episodes of Tales from the Crypt and watch them, I actually, not only do I want to do that, I honestly have been reminded of all of the other amazing anthology horror shows on TV. Specifically, Monsters and Tales from the Dark Side. I'm going to go see if I can find episodes of all 3 of those shows, and I'm just going to binge watch the fuck out of them, because that sounds like that would be an amazing time. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.